From the few years that I've spent on earth, I've come to realize that people are good and they mostly have got good intentions. However, for most of us, expressing and communicating those good intentions towards others is a bit of a challenge. Okay? And it may come across as being insensitive, being intrusive, being unkind, or even it may come across as being rude, just because it is an actual skill that you have to learn how to express effectively to other people, towards others. Okay? But it is also worth noting that we are capable of misinterpreting others' good intentions. Other people may have innocent intentions, but we may misinterpret those good intentions as if it was bad, as if it were unkind, just because of the stereotypes that we hold, because of the prejudices that we may have, and also because of maybe information for other people, and even for people that we don't know. Just because of their presentation, the pitch of their voice, we may misinterpret it as being unkind or being rude or something like that. So we are capable of doing that. It goes both ways. I'll just give you an example. There was a time during the pandemic, we are working from home, and this day, as a team, we had a virtual meeting. During that virtual meeting, we had spent a lot of time away from each other. A colleague was there. The face was looking a bit puffy. So I, with the intention of maybe throwing across a joke, having a lighter moment, keeping the conversation going, a small talk, I commented, I said, "Oh, it's been long. Your face is actually looking puffy." Okay? I thought it was actually a joke. And everybody else smiled, what have you. Unknowingly, that person did not take it well, to the point that after the meeting, it took some hours, they sent me a very, very, very strong text of displeasure to what I had stated. And I was actually surprised that, oh, really? Is this how they have taken it? But yeah, that's what I'm saying, that we may have good intentions, but most of us, we don't know how to express those good intentions. We don't know how to do a small talk. I've actually gone to Google and say, can you teach me how do I start a small talk? Or I'm not a small talk person, but it's a skill that one has to learn to express themselves effectively. And also, when we are on the receiving end, we have to know that we are capable of misinterpreting others' good intentions, and we should be able to take time before reacting to say, is this good? Do they mean well? Is this good or not? Though this is the case, though people are good and they mostly have got good intentions, we should not be naive. There are times when people may not have the best intentions. Okay? There are times that people may actually be intrusive, they may be unkind, they may be insensitive, they may be even rude intentionally. They may not mean well, okay? Deliberately. There are times. So we should not be naive. We should not rule it out. I've also come to realize that nature oftentimes projects the realities of humanity. Nature projects the realities of humanity. I'll just give you some creepy examples of nature and how it projects the realities of humanity. I'll start with the example of a praying mantis. A female praying mantis, after mating exercise, sometimes it eats up its male partner. Imagine they're just coming from having that most intimate act. And what's even creepier is that the female may eat the male while they are mating. While the act is going on, the female may eat up the male. The male stands no chance. It finishes the act with its head off. Okay? Instead of developing a sense of love, you are watching over your shoulder and saying that, okay, maybe my partner will eat me up. Maybe my partner will consume me. Okay? While you are being intimate and you're looking over your shoulder, that do they really have good intentions towards me? That's what a praying mantis does. And the male has to always be alert. And immediately after, if they are not eaten while the act is going on, immediately after the act, they have to fly off. They have to go. If they don't go, they'll fall prey and they'll be eaten by the female counterpart, by the female spouse, which is really dangerous. This is what nature does. The scorpion, the female scorpion, has got the same cannibalistic tendencies. Okay, only that the female scorpion have got the tendency of even eating up its young ones. Apart from eating the male, it can, if it's starving, eat up its young ones. So this happens a lot in the animal kingdom. A lot of animals. I can give so many examples. So I've just said these are creepy examples of what happens in nature, about people having good intentions or bad intentions or something like that, and how to always be alert and watch over your shoulder in life. So guys, the same phenomena does exist in the plant kingdom. As I've said, that nature often projects what happens in humanity. So what I've just said about the praying mantis and the scorpion, it also exists in the plant kingdom. I'll give you an example of what we call is the strangler fig tree, like in strangulation, the strangler fig tree. In vernacular, we call it Gacher. It's a tree that produces small fig fruits. And now a bird eats up a fruit, a fig fruit. It enjoys it. It begins flying. And while it's flying, it drops a seed on the branch of another tree in the forest, a very thick forest. The seed drops from the bird's mouth on the branch of an innocent tree called a host tree, minding its own business. It's sleeping. It's just a seed after all. It may be aware of it or it may not know that a seed has fallen there. Then after a while, the seed sprouts, okay, and starts basking in the sunshine. And now the host tree notices it and they said, oh, it's just a small sprout. It's germinated. It's just a small sprout after all. I don't mind. Let it enjoy the full sun exposure. After all, this is a thick forest. If it falls down on the ground, it may not have access to the sun. So let it have exposure from my branch. It's okay. Okay? Now that's what the host tree is thinking. Being nice, okay? Not knowing that it's being nice to a predator, it's being nice to danger. They don't know the intention of that strangler, okay, fig tree. Then, while the fig tree is still sleeping and being nice, now the fig starts sending these small dangling roots to the ground. Small dangling roots. And the moment those roots hit the ground, the host tree is done with. It's too late to take action once those roots just hits the ground, because now the fig has started getting nutrients and water, what have you, all the salts, the minerals, all the necessary things to enable it to grow and mature quickly. It's got access to that in the ground, and it does grow in a phenomenal way. And while it's growing, the host tree is in the middle, the roots have gone down, and the fig just snuffs the life out of the host until it's no more. It begins to rot. The only evidence that there was another tree there, it's a hollow that is left in the fig, just indicating that there was another tree there and there is a hollow that remains. As it has rotten, it has disintegrated, the hollow remains as a evidence that there was another tree. So the tree is gone. It did not know the intentions that this fig tree has. Now, in the same plant kingdom, there is a certain weed. It's called a witchweed. A very small plant, green plant. It's called a witchweed. And this is another horrible parasitic plant, especially to maize and other grass family crops. You can ask me because I'm a farmer now. The moment our farm manager advised us that he has identified this witchweed or cowfeety in our farm, we immediately had to take action. We advised him to go over the farm. Of course, the farm is big, but we told him that go wherever you see it, uproot it. We just had to uproot it because it is very dangerous. Though small, but it is a very horrible parasite plant and it's sneaky. Okay, it can remain dormant. You do buy a plant, you want to farm, you wouldn't see it because it's very, very sneaky, and it can remain dormant for up to 15 years. You'll just see the field and say, oh, there's no cow feet there, just because it has not found the conducive environment. But the moment you plant the maize, it revives. And once it revives, it's a small plant, it's not easily seen, but it's got very fibrous roots, very fibrous roots. So the roots, they grow big underground. Damage is done underground, it's fibrous. Then as the roots are growing down, they go to the roots of the plant, your plants or the maize, and they attach themselves to the roots of the host plant or the maize or the rice or whatever grass family plant that you've planted. Okay, these fibrous roots of this small, which we know, cow feet, they just go and they attach themselves to your maize and they start sucking the water, the nutrients from this maize. Okay, and something that you didn't know the intention of this plant, it's small after all. We're paying it no mind, it's got good intentions, it's just innocent, it's just not knowing that underground something is happening. The roots are so fibrous, they are growing so much and so fast, and they are running to the roots of your maize, attaching themselves there, and they start sucking this water, sucking out the nutrients, the salts, and everything from the maize. And then the maize starts wilting. Then it's gone. Because these seeds, they can disperse very fast. Once you don't notice, you find that your farm is gone because the fibrous roots, they go and the seed, they disperse, and everywhere they just attach to your maize plant. They suck from those roots all the salts, the nutrients, and everything, and your farm is wilted. While this happens underground, the signs only manifest when the harm and the damage has already happened. So this is all I'm saying, that nature often projects to what happens in humanity. I've given examples in the animal kingdom, the scorpion, the praying mantis. I've given example in the plant kingdom, the witchweed, calfiti, or the Gacher tree, the strangler tree. I've given all these examples, just trying to show you the kind of projection that nature has towards humanity. So as human beings, we often wrong each other, we harm each other, we fight each other, we betray each other. So many things happens in the humanity that sometimes may happen to you unknowingly, okay, thinking that somebody has got good intentions when in fact they don't have good intention. But I've said the general rule is that usually you have to live with the fact that others have got the best intentions for you. Otherwise, if you're always alert and looking over your shoulder, you may end up being a slave to that. You may be a slave to fear. You may be a slave to this always being alertness. So you need to have your heart down, saying that people have got the best intentions. But while doing the same, you have to keep it at the back of your mind that there are other people that they don't have the best intention for you. In the Chichewa language, there is a certain saying. It goes, chifundo chinajiwitsa nkwali. Chifundo chinajiwitsa nkwali. So this particular saying, what it means is that nkwali is a type of a bird. So the bird was there was a river. Now the bird was wanting to fly across this river. And while it was wanting to fly across, there was another snake just on the bank of the river, the same side. Now the snake was just there. Then the snake said, oh, I want to cross the river, but I can't cross because the river is too rough. It may wash me away. May you please carry me on your back so that I may cross. As you fly across, I want to cross the river. Carry me on your back. So this particular bird, the Nkwali bird, felt sympathy, felt sorry and compassionate towards this snake. And he said, okay, come and crawl over my back. I'll fly across with you. Now the snake crept on the back of this bird. They started flying across the river until they got to the other end of the river. The bird came down and landed, and he told the snake, "Can you please get off my back?" And the snake refused. "I don't want to get off your back." And it crept across the around the neck. Okay? And the bird said, "Can you get off my back?" And the snake said, "No, I don't want to get off." And it ended up biting the bird. So chifundo chinajiwitsa nkwali, compassion, sympathy. So there is a time for everything, to show compassion, to show sympathy, but there is also a time to be clever, okay, and watch over your shoulder to say who's got good intentions and who's got bad intentions. We need to be alert without necessarily falling to be a slave to fear. In spite of all this creepiness that I've said here, there is always room to extend mercy and compassion and sympathy and forgiveness. There is always room for mercy. If you are wronged and harmed, you can extend mercy, you can extend forgiveness. It only serves you right to do so. You cannot take poison and expect your enemy to lose their life over it. If you take poison, you lose your life. Your enemy will not. So it just does you right. If you forgive, if you extend mercy, it just frees you. It does free you. Okay. Yeah. If you don't, it's your loss. It's your loss. You stay with this anger. You stay with this bitterness. But you just have to free yourself to forgive, extend mercy. Yeah. So I'll just read some Bible verses in this respect, starting with the book of Zechariah, chapter 7, verse 8 to 9. It says in Zechariah 7, verse 8 to 9, "Then the word of the Lord came to Zechariah, saying, Thus says the Lord of hosts, execute true justice, show mercy and compassion, everyone to his brother." Okay, show mercy and compassion, everyone to his brother. That is the instruction that the Lord was giving during this time to the prophet Zechariah, and it also applies to us, to show mercy and compassion towards each other. I'll also read another piece of scripture, the book of Luke, chapter 36. Luke 6, verse 36. Oh, Luke 6, it says, verse 36, "Therefore, be merciful, just as your Father also is merciful." Luke 6, verse 36, "Therefore, be merciful, just as your Father also is merciful." That's another instruction. Then I go to the book of Colossians. Colossians is a hard book to find. Yohane mashitidwe, Aroma, Korinto, Galatiya, Efeso, Filipi, okay, Colossians 3, I found it, verse 12. "Therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, long-suffering." As the elect of God, holy and beloved, put on tender mercies, kindness, humility, meekness, and long-suffering, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you must do. But above all these things, put on love, which is the bond of perfection. So they're talking about mercy, humility, forgiveness, love, and everything. There is room for all that for you to do. These are the instructions that I've just read from the Bible. Having said that, guys, what do you think? Please comment in the comment section below. What do you think about compassion? What do you think about being sympathy? And also maybe the intentions that people may have towards you. What do you think about that? Do you think people generally have got the best intentions? Or do you think people, they are generally bad? What do you think about this? May you comment in the comment section below. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. You can tell me what you want me to be talking about. There's a very wide range of the things that I talk about surrounding my life experiences, but you can share with me that you talk about finances, talk about the word, talk about this life experience when growing up, talk about your career, talk about, just tell me what you want me to talk about. Yeah. Like, share, and also subscribe. Thank you so much, friends. Be blessed.